All right, so we are going to talk about the circle of control. And this is so important for you to understand. We mentioned in the last video ownership, this really cool word about what belongs to who and what problems belong to who. And in a lot of circumstances, our kids' choices, parents are owning and they're taking that on as their own problem. And so in next week we're going to talk about identifying your personal boundaries and things like that, and this is fundamental and foundational to that. So we've got to understand this first. So first, let's talk about what is in your control and what you do own. What is yours? What should you be managing on your own and not expecting other people to take care of for you? And if you'll see, in my control is in the circle of white. So my choices are in my control. It is not somebody else who forces me to do something. Ugh, that's uncomfortable, but it's true. My choices are in my control. My feelings. People cannot make me feel a certain way. They can do things that I can then react to in a certain way, but ultimately, it's up to me to choose how I feel and to choose my opinions and my attitudes. The other things that are in my control are my body. I get to decide what happens to my body. That is a basic safety thing. The law agrees with us on that. We get to decide. It is also up to us to take care of our body, to rest, to feed it well, to exercise, something we're not always super good at. But here we are trying our best anyway. Our effort, our actions, and our words. These are all in my control. I have ownership of it. People cannot force me to do these things. Now, I'm sure an argument could be made that at gunpoint, somebody maybe could force me to do something, but in the end, it is still my choice to live and do what they asked me to or to let them take my life. So, really, it is in my control, these things. Okay? Now, there are things outside of our control. And this is something that we really have to understand because we feel that our kids are in our control. And we'll hear people say things like, get your child under control, or can't you control them better? No, we can't, because we are not in control of our kids. You guys, this in my control and out of control model is something that they teach to kids in elementary school. And I'm not saying that as like you guys should understand this and it's silly that we don't understand it, but it's silly that people are saying to us like get your kids under control, because guess what? We can't. And kindergartners know that. They aren't supposed to control their neighbor and tattletale on their neighbor all the time. They're just supposed to control themselves, okay? So, this is the same with us. We cannot control our kids' feelings, their choices, their opinions, their effort, their actions, their attitudes, their bodies. We do not own that. We do not have control over that. We can tell our child to eat, but can we force them to eat? Can we like grab their jaws and make them chew and make them swallow? We can tell our kids to go to sleep, but will they go to sleep? Can we force them to shut their eyes and for the rapid eye movement to start and their bodies to relax? We cannot. We cannot control that. So, can we tell our kids to stop fighting? Yeah, we can, but can we force it to happen? No. So, the question that we are left with then is, if we want to change our kids' behavior because it's disruptive to our family, what the heck am I supposed to do if I can't control them? And you guys, that is the right question to ask. And next week, that is what we're going to be talking about, is identifying your own personal boundaries and what is okay for you to tolerate and not. And if arguing isn't one of those things, awesome, good. And then how to be able to get other people to use their choices to respect that. So we are going to talk about that next week. But for today, the action item that we have for you is to look at the circle of control and on a scale of 1 to 5, say how good you are at controlling the things within your circle of influence. So 5 is, oh, I'm really good at controlling my choices, my feelings, my attitudes, and everything else. 1 is, oh, I'm not so good. And if you're not a 5, what can you do to get there? And what's one baby step you can use towards getting there? Okay. The other question that I have for you is, how much control do you want to have over your kids? And is it going to be comfortable or uncomfortable for you to recognize and understand and accept the fact that you cannot control them? That is not your job and it's not within your power. So answer those two questions in the comments.